What's good, y'all? It's your boy Muhammad Sanu. We here live at a Trail Report. You know what I'm saying? My boy C Hill. Y'all better stay tuned. You heard? Being Talk.
For the Chicago Bears, the NFL named two viable sites for a new stadium. Bears brass met virtually today with NFL Stadium Committee to discuss the team's proposed stadium sites. The Bears presented an update on Arlington Heights, Illinois, and Hammond, Indiana. Per source, the committee members agreed that two sites are the only viable options and expressed a need to move the process expeditiously. Shout out to the homie T.I. There was no vote taken, but the stadium committee will meet again within 2 weeks. Source says the committee also acknowledged the Illinois legislature needs to continue work to move the process forward, which will now require the pilot bill to move through the Senate. Chicago is out of the running to keep the Bears. Frankly, it seemed like a long shot for the team to stay. Given the Bears' desires, it will stay in the city that Bears is named. So, the Chicago Bears will no longer be playing in Chicago, pretty much, is what it is. This is a sad day. Um, Obviously, we heard reports and knew this was potentially going to happen. Heard reports right after the season ended, actually, that this was probably on the look to happen. But as the days go by, as you guys just heard the report, it's getting more official. Basically, is what the report was saying, to break it down in understandable terms. Put it like that. They gave them, the Bears, two viable options to move, and one is in Arlington Heights, Illinois, and the other one, let me not get it wrong, make sure. And the other one is in Hammond, Indiana. So they will not be playing in Soldier Field any longer, for the reasons of the Bears want actual ownership of the stadium. And what that means is basically they get to control all revenue services. Basically, what that means is like this: for anything that happens in their new stadium or in the stadium that they're gonna build, they will have, control over it. So they can make money off of things like that. Right now they're in Soldier Field. They're kind of on a like leasing thing. So they're kind of leasing the stadium out to play in it. They don't have control over revenue, getting revenue from different sources like concerts and stuff like that. They don't have that right now. And only a couple teams in the NFL do, but the ones that do, they control the revenue as far as getting the revenue in and controlling multiple avenues of it, which is what the Bears are trying to do, having their own stadium that they can control and have sites like that. So, which is one of their motivating factors to moving. It just is it happens to be one of those legendary landmarks in the NFL and in this thing that we love that's happened to call sports. Um, it's one of those legendary places, man. Soldier Field or Chicago for the Bears, period. It's just one of those places that just always, you know, um, one of those things that just always will kind of go hand in hand. I hate to say it, but it's kind of like Oakland and the Raiders. They can go to Vegas all they would like to, and Vegas is great, and I love that the Vegas community, in my opinion, has embraced the Raiders as far as having a football team and stuff like that, and embraced the culture and embraced the vibe of the Raiders as far as, the hard-nosed organization that the Raiders always have been. I think Vegas is definitely getting more comfortable with embracing the fact that that's their team. But I mean, let's call a spade a spade. They're always going to be the Oakland Raiders to a lot of people. They're always going to be the Oakland Raiders to a lot of people. They can win a championship in Vegas, and to a lot of people, they're still going to be the Oakland Raiders. So it just is one of those things that just kind of go together. Chicago and the Bears always, Soldier Field playing in Chicago. It just always, that always kind of will go together. But you guys know the cliche: all good things must eventually come to an end. I just want to say that it's been a great run for the Bears as far as playing in Chicago. It's as far as being the Chicago Bears. Yeah, they had their moments of uncertainty and had their down moments and had their moments of not being successful, sure, but I mean, this is the team that this is the team that Dick Buck has played on. You know, this is the team that I mean Brian Urlacher played on. George Halas, like so many legendary NFL figures. And not to mention my guy, in my opinion, the greatest running back of all time. This is the team that Walter Payton played on. Like, so much history go along with them just being the Chicago Bears. It's not something that just will change just because more money is coming in, or just because the stadium is nicer, or just because they own the stadium. It's not much that it's not just that easy to just change that simple. It's so much history, so much aura around the history of this organization. It won't just change just because they're moving locations. And people just won't be able to just forget the Chicago days, and they shouldn't, rightfully so. But you know, to add some oomph to the Bears' point as far as owning the stadium, just to give you guys an idea, I wrote down some teams that do own their stadium, or you know, have a ownership in their stadium. Just to give you guys an idea, the Miami Dolphins do own Hard Rock Stadium. Patriots own the Gillette Stadium. The Rams own the SoFi Stadium. The New York Giants and New York Jets co-own the MetLife Stadium, and the Carolina Panthers own the Bank of America Stadium. Now, obviously, the team, but you guys get it. Someone in the organization owns the stadium and actually do the deal to get the stadium, which means technically the team owns the stadium. So that's kind of how it goes. Right now, the Bears don't have that. They just lease it pretty much. Fun fact, the Chargers lease the SoFi Stadium from the Rams for $1 per year, which is crazy. But anyway, just to give you guys an idea, that's why the Bears are moving towards owning their stadium, because they want more revenue and stuff like that, which is understandable. And like I said, those are the list of teams that do have that ownership view of it. So I can understand why they want to move in that direction, and I completely respect it. It's just losing a little oomph as far as the history part. You know, it's always gonna be looked at as kind of like a somber thing in sports. You know, it's like if somehow which this would never ever happen, but if somehow the Lakers moved from Los Angeles to somewhere else, and it's still the same Lakers, it still got Bron and everything like that, right? It still got whole team legacy, which is great. They still got all that, but it just won't. It will be a somber thing because of the fact that they're moving from Los Angeles. Like they're losing the LA part. Like they're losing a part of their impact, losing the Los Angeles part. They still be the Lakers, but they just would lose a part of their strength, I guess you would say, losing the Los Angeles part. Still the Lakers, but they just would lose a part of that history, or at least would feel that way. So that's the thing that I feel like the Bears have to know the fans are going to feel in this moment. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know how the fans are feeling about the move as far as the new stadium. I imagine Bears fans will be happy because you are getting a new stadium. As far as just the stadium part, I'm not talking about the moving. Just as far as getting a new stadium, I think that is exciting for any organization, being able to get a new stadium and having your players and play in a better venue having your players play in a better environment, which that will spark people to come see the environment, which, more ticket sales. So they want to come see the new environment that the players get to play in, and you get to add new features and customize it how you want and do things that you want, which is always a dope experience. But so I imagine fans are excited about that, but it still is, once again, losing a part of the history that has been in Soldier Field and in Chicago, period, for the Bears. They won 8 NFL championships and a Super Bowl in Chicago. They hold a record for the most Hall of Fame enshrinees. They hold a record for the most retired jerseys. Like, so much history goes with the Chicago Bears. It is a somber thing for them to think that they'll be leaving soon, but it is what it is, But like I said, all good things must come to an end. It's just, I would look at it as reflective, and I say, and this is, obviously nothing is official, like they're not moving tomorrow, but with this being the case, I would just say this. So much history has been done with the Chicago Bears organization and in Chicago for them. I'm glad that, and maybe this was the football gods. It probably was. So thank God for this. I'm glad that the Bears fans, the Bears supporters, and Soldier Field itself, I'm glad that the potential last hoorah in the Soldier Field and in the Chicago, area, I'm so glad that they got to see the Bears good one more time. I'm so happy for that. And like I said, maybe that was the football guys. Maybe they knew this was coming, and they was like, okay, well, let's get one more last, like I said, last hoorah before they're gone. And before they're not where they always have been, for the most part. So I'm glad that they got to see one last time of being good, of being in the playoffs, and actually got a chance to be a part of more history, as they became the team with the most fourth quarter comebacks in NFL history in a season. So I'm glad that Soldier Field and just all the energy that comes from that stadium, playing in that Chicago environment, I'm glad that it got to experience being good, being in the playoffs, and having fun one last time. Because, they leave, life goes on. It'll be the Bears back to business, just playing somewhere else, right? Life goes on, business goes on. But at least same thing like I said with the Raiders, at least the Bears fans who will say they'll always be the Chicago Bears to me. At least the people who say that and who feel that way, like the Bears supporters who are going to feel that way, at least they can say the last or one of the last seasons, we got to see them be good one last time before they left. Before they, did what they had to do, we got to see them be good one last time. We got to see them make history one last time. We got to shock the NFL for a season one last time. So I'm extremely happy for the Bears as far as that. And I just give a shout out to the Bears history as a whole. Like I said, this is the team that Walter Payton played for, George Halas, Brian Urlacher, Devin Hester, like so many players, so many players that have so much impact in NFL history. And for this organization to be on the move as far as just trying to get a new stadium and kind of losing a little bit of the oomph as far as being in Chicago, it's tough, but like I said, all good things must come to an end. And I just say it's been a great run in Chicago. It was a great run. You, like I said, everybody had their down seasons. Everybody has their seasons where they're rebuilding and trying to find out their way. And the Bears definitely had that. Don't get me wrong. This is not a sunshine and rainbow story at all. But for all the times that they had down in their organization and down over the years, they had a lot of moments that they had to be proud of that came from playing in Chicago. So wherever they are off to next, I wish them nothing but the best, but their legacy will always be rooted in in where they play in Chicago now in Wrigley Field. Soldier Field and Wrigley Field, that's where their impact will be always rooted in, regardless of where they go and what they do from now. That's where it will always be. So this is definitely something that put a somber mood over the people that support Chicago Bears. But to brighten their spirits, hopefully the new stadium is dope. We'll see though. It's me, Chill from the Chill Report. If y'all watched the video, I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to come back next time. Before you leave, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Become one of the chillest players in the game. And I'm out. Peace.